Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Wow, nice green market. We love this. This is awesome stuff. Excellent news too, also from our community, because we secured some solid profits on our AVAX trade here. We took roughly 2 days ago. As I mentioned previously, we're going to take that long in that upper $17 range. So we're at about 39% on that trade, 63% from Solana, 41% on Bitcoin. So just kind of throwing it out there, letting you know that longs are in play for the moment. We secured a lot of profits on most of those though, so it's important to kind of maybe consider shifting gears based towards that of the price action pulling back. And I'm mostly just saying that because it's a weekend. It's pretty common for price action to pull back. We've seen 93% of the weekends this year have been red. Not proposing we're going to see a red weekend at this point where there's a lot of profits on the board still, but that's exactly why it should come back down too, because that's the reality of trading. What goes up must come down because market makers are going to secure their profits. And they generally have been doing that on Saturday night / Sunday morning. So we'll be seeing here soon if that takes place. Hope I'm wrong and the price keeps going higher, but the key takeaway here is that $20 should work as a support if we don't have a massive dump. If Bitcoin just goes sideways for a little while, we'll probably see 21, 22 in that range. But majority of all the local liquidation has been swept. There's not a lot of incentive to push the price action much higher, especially from a macro perspective here. Pretty much all that liquidation upwards of $21, maybe about $1 or $2 billion worth of liquidation is all gone. Okay, so that just implies that late shorts, or early shorts rather, I got hit pretty hard. Liquidation delta is pretty high still, even though it's tapering off. We're still on the bullish side of things, so it's not good to consider shorting into this. I sound probably like a hypocrite because I talked about shorting Solana and Bitcoin, which we have a short for both those coins open right now, but that's based solely on weekend manipulative retracement. I'm just expecting that to happen. It's a high risk trade because obviously there's a lot of confluence and there's a lot of reasons why the price should go higher. So we need to recognize that and walk away with the understanding that the technical analysis looks awesome on most coins right now. So let's see how awesome it looks on this one. It's quick to summarize here that low to mid $19 range has a lot of confluence with local open interest. We take a look at the points of control here in the relative recent past, ever since we've been in this $18 to $19 range, roughly March 1st or recent upwards till now. We can see the most amount of confluence is about 1860. That's open interest, basically letting us know that we have a tremendous amount of open positions at that level. So just know that that's kind of where we're at there for the moment. It's neither bullish nor bearish, but generally speaking, that's going to be a support level for us. That's the concept. All right, so daily time frame, we have broken above our short-term descending trend. Sorry, the macro descending trend, but it is still early. Okay, so if you look here closer, you can see the 50-day SMA is below the price action for the moment. That requires us to close above $20 or higher. Okay, but good news is we've broken majority of those trends. We can see we're over 50 on the RSI. These are all very, very favorable signs that incline this coin to go further up. Okay, so now pending all retracement aside, it probably could pull back with a weekend retracement if that happens. If so, I'm speculating the $18 to $19 range is a solid support range for us. Okay, so I'm actually very interested in a long in the upper 18 to low 19 range, based solely on that being a significant amount of support here recently. So just keep in mind, if that were to happen, that may be a consideration for a long, just solely speaking on my behalf. I'm not telling you to do that because you don't just take a long in the blind. That's why I set an alert so we can see if it's worth taking a long at that point. Okay, I'm not just going to set a limit order on a leverage trade between now and then. Okay, so cool. That's kind of where we're at there. 4-hour time frame, super bullish. Most altcoins are going to show a lot of confluence in the 4-hour time frame. So at this point, we've got a good transitionary time frame letting us know that everything's good to go for the upside. We've got our macro descending trend line that has been broken and is tentatively closing above. I'm emphasizing the word tentative because it's still very early. We literally just broke above today. So you don't just take the first breakout. You don't want to be a breakout trader in this market until we determine that we're like legitimately back on track with Bitcoin. Then I think it's probably pretty ill-advised to consider taking a long, especially on a Saturday afternoon. It's just a bad call. So once more, I speak from experience here. The last 13 out of 14 weekends, I've tried twice in 2 weekends so far this year to try to take longs, and it hasn't worked out. Okay, so I guess I'm a little gun shy, but I just want to recommend that you be cautious and careful taking longs at the tentative top. I don't think we're topped out by any stretch, but I do think a pullback would make sense here. So that's the concept. Anyways, those are just things I'm going to try to always recommend best practice in situations like these, and I'm never going to tell you just along what feels like the tentative top. Majority of this local liquidation has been swept. There's a little bit left, but for the most part here, no reason to really see the price action go too much higher in the immediate future. But I do think from a larger perspective, this coin showing a lot more strength than most other coins. That's why we took a long position with it in the first place. I think there's decent chance that this coin continues to prevail. And it's going to require Bitcoin to stay at the 84 to 85K range or higher though. If we go too much lower, we may see a pullback from a lot of alts. So it's just something to be aware of. Either way, hope you had a good learning experience here. Comment below if you get a chance. Let me know what your thoughts are, what your position is with this coin. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you'd like. And make sure that if you are part of our community here with these trade signals, you're reading through our trade signals alerts, or our signals guides rather, and making sure you understand that. And obviously recognizing our signal alerts too, because I do give you trade alerts consistently for these coins. And I pretty much explain why we took our trade to the upper $20 to $21 range. It's all there for you, folks. Use it. Use it or lose it. All right, folks. Have a good one. Thanks again for your time. See you again soon. Bye-bye.